All right, welcome to the explainer. You know that feeling, right? No matter what you get, no matter what you achieve, there's always this little voice inside that wants more. A bigger house, a better job, you name it. Well, what if I told you that feeling isn't some kind of flaw? Today, we're diving into a philosophy that says this infinite hunger is actually a clue, a key to understanding your real place in the entire cosmos.
So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we're going to start with something we all get, that constant search for happiness. Then, we'll take a look inside and really unveil what the mind is. After that, we zoom way out to see the universe as a thought. From there, we'll figure out humanity's cosmic purpose in all this, and wrap it all up with the path to true liberation. Let's get into it. All right, first up, the quest for happiness. This is where it all begins, right? With this universal, kind of nagging feeling, this unending search for something that will finally make us happy. I mean, really think about it for a second. Why does nothing in this world ever truly satisfy us? You chase money, power, fame, whatever it is. You make $1,000, you immediately want 1,000,000. You become the manager, now you want to be the CEO. It's like, no matter what you get, that hunger for more just never ever goes away. The satisfaction, it's just so temporary. So what is going on here?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. This philosophy suggests this isn't a bug, it's a feature. This infinite longing is called your dharma. It's your essential innate characteristic. Think about it. You have an infinite hunger, so of course a finite object is never going to fill you up. Only something infinite can ever truly satisfy an infinite desire. It's simple logic, really.
Okay, so if we're all wired to seek the infinite, how in the world do we even start that search? Well, you've got to start by understanding the only tool you have to experience anything at all, your own mind. Now check this out. Your senses, they're just instruments. Your mind is the real operator. It's kind of a wild thought, but your eyes don't actually see, and your ears don't actually hear. They're just hardware. You've had this happen, right? You're staring right at something, but your mind is 1,000,000 miles away, and you don't even register what's in front of you. That's because the mind is the real boss here, the one actually doing the perceiving. So how does this operator, the mind, actually work? It's basically a 3-step process. First, you have what's called mahatattva. This is just the purest, simplest feeling of I exist. That's the foundation. From that sense of existence, the next layer forms aham tattva. This is the ego, the sense of I do. It's the part that feels like it's in charge. And then, this doer directs the chitta, which is like the raw stuff of the mind, to take the shape of whatever you're perceiving, a tree, a sound, a feeling. So it's a flow, from I am to I do, to the mind stuff taking form. Okay, but wait a minute. If the mind is doing all this, thinking, feeling, doing, then who or what is aware of the mind? Who's watching the show? And this right here is maybe the most important part. There's a silent witnessing entity called the Atman, or unit consciousness. This is your true self, your real I. Think of it this way. Your mind is the movie, all the drama, thoughts, and feelings. The Atman, it's the screen. It's completely separate from the movie, but without it, there's nothing for the movie to even play on. And now, we're going to zoom all the way out, because here's the crazy part. The way your own mind is structured, it's a perfect little mirror of how the entire universe is put together. We're going from the personal to the cosmic, the microcosm to the macrocosm. So at the very top of everything, you have what's called Brahma, or cosmic consciousness, and it exists in 2 states. First, there's Nirguna Brahma. The best way to picture this is like a vast, limitless, calm ocean. Pure potential, nothing's happened yet. But then, a creative force, Prakrti, comes into play and it acts on that ocean. And what happens? You get icebergs. These icebergs of reality are called Saguna Brahma, and that is the manifested universe that you and I experience every day. This leads to a really mind-bending idea, which is captured perfectly in this quote. It says, "The crude universe is created only as a thought projection of Purusha, cosmic consciousness." Whoa, let that sink in. The physical world that feels so solid and real,
it isn't an independent thing. It's a thought happening in the mind of the cosmos. The entire universe is literally a divine thought. So, if it's just a thought, why does it feel so incredibly real? Well, it's like this. Imagine a master magician who casts a spell on an audience, and they all see a rope floating in midair. To every single person under that spell, that rope is real. They can't see it any other way. In the exact same way, we are all living inside the incredibly powerful spell, the thought projection of the cosmic mind. And so, we perceive its thought as our solid, undeniable reality.
And this cosmic thought didn't just pop into existence all at once. Nope, it unfolded in stages, kind of like it was cooling down and getting denser. It started out super subtle, as the ethereal factor, just pure space. Then it got a little thicker, becoming the aerial factor. Then came the luminous and the liquid factors, until finally it reached its densest, crudest state, the solid factor. You know, the physical matter we can touch and feel. Each step was just that original thought getting a little more solid.
But, and this is the really beautiful part of the whole story, it doesn't just stop there, at maximum density. Once creation hits that solid state, it's like it hits a turning point. A whole new phase begins, the great journey home. An evolutionary path that leads away from the crudeness of matter back towards the subtlety and freedom of pure consciousness. So, you might be wondering, okay, that's a cool cosmic story, but what does any of this have to do with me? Well, everything, because this is where we finally discover our real purpose. Because this is exactly where we as human beings come into the picture. We are right at the peak of this great return journey. Think about it. After eons of consciousness being trapped in rocks, plants, and less developed animals, in humans, it finally has a mind complex enough to become clearly reflected, to become self-aware. This is a huge deal. It gives us a capability that nothing else in creation has. And with that incredible self-awareness comes a choice, a fundamental choice. We can either choose actions that align with that great cosmic return journey. That's the path of Vijamaya, leading us towards freedom and subtlety. Or we can choose actions that do the opposite, that chain us to the crude material world. That's the path of avidyamaya, the path of bondage. Now, this path of bondage, it's fueled by what this philosophy calls the 6 enemies. Things like uncontrollable longing, anger, greed, blind attraction, vanity, envy. These are the forces, the anchors that keep our minds totally fixated on the outside world. They're what keep us trapped, preventing us from making that journey back home to our true conscious source. So the big question is, how do we break free? How do we consciously get off that path of bondage and choose the path of liberation? Well, there's a way. The practical method for doing this is called savana. And let's be clear, this is not about just passively believing in something. It's an active practice. It's a systematic, all-around effort to consciously untangle your awareness from all those attachments, and literally to accelerate your own evolution, your own journey home to what's called moksha, or total emancipation. Now look, as soon as you say spiritual practice, a lot of red flags go up for people, right? We have all these common fears. Oh, I have to renounce the world and go live in a cave, or I have to practice strict celibacy, I have to give up everything I enjoy, or the classic, yeah, that's something I'll do when I'm old. Sound familiar? But here's the thing. True practice is not about forcefully giving things up. It's not about suppression, it's about transformation. The whole point is to redirect your mind's attention towards something higher, something more subtle, something that's actually more blissful. And when you taste that, the desire for all the crude, temporary stuff, it just naturally starts to fade away. You don't have to force it. So it's not about running away from the world at all. It's about finding something way more compelling right here, right now, no matter what stage or life you're in. So I'll leave you with this final question to chew on. What if this whole time we've had it completely backwards? What if your true purpose in life is not to acquire more things from the universe, but to finally realize that you are the universe, that you are a piece of that cosmic consciousness, simply on a long journey back to remember what you've always been?